Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's not the feed. That's not the camera. There we go. Let's get the lighting on as well. There we go. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's good that some of you have pre-liked. I like the pre-likes. I think if we could just load all of the likes to either before the stream has occurred or right at the beginning, that really does put us in a good position, because then I can just end the stream. Like if we manage to front load all of the likes, then we really can just maybe even do just 5-minute streams, because what's the point in the rest of the content? Maybe we'll get there at some point. But the more of you that pre-like, the better for the stream, for the longevity of the stream. But it's not good for the content, just for the stream itself. We've got Mihai. Say hi, Mihai. I just want to make sure I've got the sound right.
Hey, everyone.
Tell us in the chat if that's if Mihai's too loud, or if Mihai's not loud enough.
Am I loud enough?
Give me a note. Say something annoying.
Ash is annoying.
I don't think that's annoying. I think that's the consensus. that's the general consensus of the community. Okay, so what is on the agenda today? Well, today there is not really an agenda, just like all the other days. We're not really that kind of operation here. I think what I'll probably do is pull requests.
Woohoo.
But obviously we will have to do some emojis as well. A fan favourite. Let me share my screen. Should I put more, should I put a tweet out? An X? Or have we done enough? I think we've got enough. We've got enough people. We've got like 9 people. That's good for me. That's a good number for me. I'm going to screen share. Right. Yeah, I think we'll do some pull requests first, because I haven't really done a huge number of community pull requests today. And then once we've done a satisfactory number of PRs, we can move over to the emojis. I think we're wrapping up the latest suite of emojis, to be honest. I think we're getting there. I'm going to get Marco's new one in, and then I'll probably just dump them in a new repo. The reason why, I mean, we can talk about this later, but I think it's a better idea to just keep them in their own separate repo, because then we're not annoying people with pull requests just for the emojis. Because Benthos and Redpanda Connect are secure and audited repos now, which is a good thing, because it means that Benthos now benefits from security everything. But it also means we have to be more protective over branches, and it means pull requests and pull request reviews for everything that goes in. So what I used to do is I just used to slap together a load of stuff and just push it directly to the main branch, and that included emojis, but not anymore, which is a good thing. We don't want to undo that, because it's good for just generally giving people a nice secure piece of software. But obviously it means that there's an annoying back and forth with emojis. I don't want to waste people's time merging emoji pull requests, basically. So I'm just going to stick them in a separate repo. I might just move this camera a little bit. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so pull request. So on the actual Benthos repo, we don't have a huge number of these. We've got dependencies. We've got, this is a nice feature. We've got masking. A docs change. I had a glance at this one. I think you've already reviewed it as well, haven't you, Mihai?
Yeah.
But that one's a bit more awkward to do on stream, because it's just me reading. Nobody wants to watch me read. And then we've got this replace deprecated method. There's another documentation one. I think we need to redo this, because the most of the stuff seemed to happen before the repo split. So we've got to do a new sed or find and replace. Let's do this Marco one. It's a Marco special. So we've added in a bunch of mathematical stuff, which is cool. So we've got some new bloblang methods. We've got sine, cosine, tan, and we've got pi, which is pretty cool. This is all just calling into the math package. My draft PR was for a component that is impure, but still on the Redpanda Connect repo. So I think because obviously we are the ones that moved everything. So I feel like what I'm going to try and do is, I don't know how feasible this is for retaining the author stamps. I think it should be fine. But basically, I would like to try and do all the work to move pull requests that are currently on Connect that are better suited for the Benthos repo or need to go in the Benthos repo. In those situations, so back in the old Benthos days, I would do a lot of work on top of people's pull requests. Almost every time I merged a pull request, I would like do some extra work on top, because I feel like rather than do like the back and forth of review and then review, blah, 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 which takes ages and ages and ages, I'll just slap this in together. I would like to try and do that for people whose pull requests are on the Connect, but they should be on Benthos. Just try and get them through, because we're the ones that disrupted all the stuff. So it feels a bit unfair to make people do the work if they're we're all busy, we're all just trying to live our lives, none of us want to write code, none of us want to be part of the open source community, we just want to watch television and play Diablo 4. But here we are, so I figured I'll try and get most of that stuff through, because they're like the same base repo. Does feel like it should be an easy job to just move the pull requests over. Basically, I'll probably do like what I used to do with like Squash, where you just make sure that the author is specified. Right, so documentation, register method sine, calculates the sine of a given angle specified in radians. That's good. This takes me back to A-level mathematics. Looks fine. Math cos. I mean, these are pretty simple methods. These are like the really good ones in bloblang, because basically all we're doing is wrapping. We're just adding our own documentation over the Golang standard library, and this documentation looks very nice and clean. We've got examples. We might be able to have multiple results in here. Just have a quick look at the docs. Bloblang, register method v2, got the plugin spec. We specify a parameter with a param definition. Oh, sorry, no, I'm looking for the examples. Example, yeah, this is variadic, so we can actually collapse this. So what Marco's got is so the reason why I'm pointing this out is because we've got an example where we have a mapping here, this dot value times pi divided by 180, and we take out the sign of that. Because this mapping is the same for each of these examples, what we can do is we can actually collapse this and just show all of these input-output combinations in the same example. It's not a huge thing, but this is like what I was saying before, where can I just edit this in place? That should be a thing, shouldn't it? It's telling me no, which is a shame. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to merge this as is, and then I'll make the changes, and then Mihai, do you mind giving me a review on mine?
Yeah, we review the PR review for the PR review for the PR review.
It'll be my little documentation update on top of it. merge that. So normally I would squash if there's like lots of commits, but in actual fact he's broken it down into nice neat commits for each method, which I think is worth keeping. So what I'm going to do is git pull rp main, so pull from upstream, and then what I'll do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, this is all in pure, is it in numbers? Where do you put it? Whatever, pull by numbers. So I think we should be able to collapse these down because each of the mappings are the same. See what I mean? Are there any predefined category strings, or is it Wild West? That's a really good question. It used to be that these are like explicit things. It doesn't really matter anymore. So it's never broken anything to like change the category into like some random weird name. It's just that it's neat in the documentation to group things by like a rough category. But there's no reason why you would have to do that. You can just specify no category if you wanted to, or whatever. It's just for generating the docs pages. So if you're contributing a method or function, ideally you want it to fit an appropriate category so that it goes into the right place. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to do that for you after I merge it. But it's not like it's not going to break the software if you pick a weird category or just no category. Are these ones all the same as well? Yeah, these ones are all the same. So yeah, variadic. And then I should be able to do make test and make len. So for those who've been watching over the last week, I've made quite a lot of changes because when we did the repo split, we made it so that obviously we don't have this monolithic repo anymore. And therefore it doesn't make any sense to have the documentation site in the core library because the core library doesn't necessarily have access to all the plugins that you might want to have in your build. So because we've distributed that, we want to be able to allow people who are making a custom build with their own plugins, and that obviously includes Redpanda Connect, the ability to generate their own docs as they want it. Now, we're not in a perfect situation yet. There's still work to be done if we want to make it really, really good. But it's good enough that you can generate your own docs now. So I did a load of work where basically the way that it's ended up, hang on, can I show you it yet?
Hey, may I join?
Yeah, of course.
Are we live? Are we live or something?
We are absolutely live. Don't say anything stupid.
The more the merrier. Welcome to YouTube.
Tell everybody who
nice.
you are and what you're about and why.
So, I'm Gilad. I'm a random guy that saw this project 2 months ago, told his friends, this is an amazing project. You must look at it. And then fast forward today, Redpanda bought it, and I told everyone, ha! I told you so, it's amazing.
So you're a random guy. I think you're selling yourself
Yes.
short. You're an early adopter. If you like, basically in a couple of years, like I would have said a month ago that you're a late adopter, but what's going to happen is hopefully this project doesn't fizzle out and die, and then you'll be one of the early adopters. You knew Benthos and you knew the blobfish.
Right.
It's going to be niche. It's going to be like an insider joke later. It's going to be like a.
Did you know that Redpanda Connect is actually a blobfish?
Did you?
It's,
Did you know
it's a
the product
zoo
used to be
of all
ironic?
unique animals.
Right, so it's going to be a bit confusing for you because basically you're talking to me in real time, actual real time, whereas the people watching the stream, it's fake. It doesn't exist. It's not real because they're on like a 30-second delay. So if you have the stream open at the same time, it's going to be really confusing. But
Okay.
you'll be fine. Just don't follow the stream necessarily have it on in the background or something. We haven't figured this one out. Because ideally, I'd be sharing my screen on the Discord, because then you'd be able to see what I'm doing in real time, but it kills my laptop, so I can't do it. I'm not going to do it to my poor laptop. But for the people on the stream, so we've added in these docs types. These are like explicit structs. And what you can do is you can expose these. So you can basically export it for all the plugins that you've imported into a build. You can get it to spit out these structs defined for every single component type and all the other stuff, like the config scheme and all the other things. And this is basically all the information that was used in the past to generate all the docs and make sure that it's always up to date. The only difference is, rather than the templates that we use to generate the docs being inside the project, we've basically pulled them out and we're exposing these structs instead. So your template can look however you want it and generate whatever you want. And the idea is you just get this predefined explicit structs giving you information. So for example, this one defines like information about a particular plugin. And what you have is you have like the summary of what it is. It's just strings basically. You've got examples. These are like an explicit struct type. So you can, for each example, you've got a title, a summary, and the config itself in YAML format. And then we've got like all the config fields defined individually. So you can generate all the docs that list all the fields and what their types are and examples and all that kind of stuff. And then we've also got like a common config example. So in the docs, you get like the tabs thing where you can see like a simple and an advanced version. And this is how you would populate that into your own docs. So all this stuff is now like publicly accessible. The beauty of that is I know people who will run a custom build of Benthos in their own organization, and it's shared by a huge bunch of people, and they want to control what people in their company kind of understand about the project, so they actually have their own docs. They basically have their own fork of the docs. And it used to be that they would have to like manually adjust it and adapt it when changes came and they upgraded. And now you could actually, in theory, generate that if you wanted to. But yeah, there's obviously going to be some rough edges. Deal with it. We can't get it all done in a day. Okay, so I've tested this now. Git checkout B more blobble docs. And Mihai is on standby to have a look at this. Wait, hang on.
See.
You're going to have 20 seconds on the clock. Git commit compact blobble docs examples. Push RP, and then we'll make an official pull request, and I'm going to assign Mihai to this pull request. Obviously, give it a fair review. Have a look at it, read it, understand it. Think about what are the behavioral changes here, what are the documentation changes, what are the implications for the community, and then approve it.
You see what you did? You got me all excited now, and I click refresh too often, and now GitHub is like, whoa there, you exceeded the secondary rate limit.
Get wrecked. I don't think I've ever been rate limited.
So now I can't access your PR.
You must be sus. That's fine. Okay, I'll move on. We've also got add support for masking. I did have a quick look at this. Let's run the GitHub Actions. Okay, so this is this was pretty cool. I had a quick look at this. It's for masking data. So you can look at the test to see how it works. And basically, you mask a certain number of characters, I think left and right, and you specify what the character is and how many characters you want to mask. Oh, okay, you specify a particular direction. Okay, that's interesting. And then we have all this good stuff for testing. And then, oh, I like it. We've got meows in the example. That's it. I think this might be a copy paste issue. Okay, I remember now. There's a couple things I was going to mention here, so we'll start a review. I would name this just count. I'll keep it nice and concise. I have a tendency to be really verbose when it comes to pull requests. It's not necessarily a good thing. In here, just char. So we'll have 3 parameters: the count, the direction, which is essentially an enum, and the character char is the variable name. I think that's reasonable. What do you think, Mihai?
Yeah, that's good to me.
And then it looks as though this example is for a different method and needs updating. But I do like the presence of meow. So maybe we can keep that somewhere in the new example. I think that's fair. Mass count. So this will have to change. So we mark these as optional and then we're ignoring the error, is that? Same here and same here. That might be naughty. I'm not sure we're allowed to get away with that. Let me think. We definitely don't want that. No print lines, thank you. And then implementation looks fine. I'm assuming we've got good test coverage. Maybe some extra tests for like slice limits and stuff like that. I think we should be fine. And what happens if that's negative? Oh, we got this here. Ha ha ha. Okay. Oh.
Can I have my PR reviewed as well?
You may. If you give me a link in the chat, I'll have
But I need to migrate it, I think.
That's fine. I can probably still give it a quick gloss over. Are you ready? Can you stand the heat?
I expect it.
Yeah, the error. I'm going to say we need to check these errors. These errors ought to be checked. I think technically we already do the type checking on these parameters. So I think actually you can get away with not explicitly checking the errors here, but I think it's good just in case. Just a simple return on error is good enough. Hey, Pixie79, implementation looks good overall. A few changes needed. and then we're good. And then we're gravy. And then we're gravy. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the benthos ones. Have you got that link for me? For your PR? Oh, sorry, you sent it me in DM. Hang on.
You can choose one of them.
Oh, the schema registry one, yes. This really annoys me with the schema registry. Oh, this is interesting. Swiss.map. Okay, this
Swiss.map is your suggestion.
Okay.
If you ever remember.
Possibly. Was this to fix the problem with compaction? Memory leak issue. Okay, memory leak issue. Interesting. Okay, so just to get everybody up to speed here, so we've got a memory cache, and the memory cache does compactions, but it's lazy. So if you say you add like 100 items with the TTL, and then you just stop, you don't add anything else. Maybe you do a few queries here and there, but you don't add anything new. The TTLs won't be respected in that data isn't actually cleared from the memory cache unless you add something new. I think on read as well, we do compactions, but in the case where you do kind of like spikes of writes and then nothing, and then another spike, and then another spike, you can get to the point where it's almost like the cap of memory usage goes way up. The map that is kind of like the underlying data type which stores all that data, because it's just a silly map, it's a very basic map, it doesn't then allow the garbage collector to reclaim that memory back. So it's kind of an edge case, because it basically depends on sort of like a jittery data coming in.
By the way, I will totally understand if you think that switching to Swift.map is too much edge case and should not be done.
It's always it's like trying to find the cozy middle between adding in, because you don't want to add in too many dependencies, just because it's a nightmare. But that is kind of our thing. It's kind of what we're good at in the benthos land, is bringing in client libraries and dependencies and stuff. But ideally, you don't want to just keep bringing in more and more and more. So if it's something that we can work around by other means, normally I would say we try and avoid it, especially for things like this, because the memory cache, it's kind of hard to say, because the memory cache originally was for like testing traditionally, and to try and get you out of like a pickle. But the intention was to always, like, you probably should use something more real that an adult wrote, a responsible adult. But nowadays,
actually, I used it in a production matter.
I mean, I recommend it to people all the time. Like, people come to me with use cases, and I'll say, "Oh, use the memory cache for X, Y, Z, blah 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 blah." Because at the end of the day, it is useful for a lot of things, and it means you don't have to deploy another like service and stuff. We do have some benthos dev. Redpanda docs. Here we go. We do have some caches that are in memory and might actually be more appropriate. So we've got the Ristretto cache. The only problem with this one is it's like eventually consistent. It doesn't immediately reflect for ads. It's non-atomic is what I'm trying to say, and therefore it's not suitable for deduplication. But also that rules it out for a few other use cases. We've got a few others. So this TTLRU, this one might be better for this type of use case. This is going to be like Battle of the Caches. And we've also got this LRU one. It might be worth doing a comparison. I should have suggested this really in the original issue, is maybe compare it to the other ones, because I think there's probably going to be a reason why those ones aren't usable or appropriate, but it'd be good to understand, get a little refresher course as to why these ones wouldn't suit the use cases.
We can create a cache resource that's called Swiss memory, but I don't know if it's a big difference, like to create another component.
I'm going to add a comment on the original issue for this at Young Josh, and just see if those other caches have been tested. Because basically now we're at the point where we're going to have like, so the memory cache, you can kind of explain to people why it exists. It's just a simple map. And then the other ones are more complicated. They have more nuance. You know, there's stuff going on there that is for like, you know, optimizing memory usage. But there might be weird qualities around, you know, latencies for certain situations might be worse or might be better for blah 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 blah. So I think if we're going to have like a more complicated or unpredictable example for the memory cache, it'd be good to have like a comparison, so that it's obvious to people looking at all these different caches which one they should pick for a given task. Have you given, or the other one, try? I forgot to mention this earlier, but it would be good to have a comparison. How do you spell comparison? If you don't know how to spell something, just work around it by rewording what you're saying. I forgot to mention this earlier, but it would be good to have a chart showing the differences.
You can actually try to write the word and Google it. Google will tell you the actual spelling.
Yeah, but that means I've got to have a whole nother tab experience. I'm just going to wait until AI can just do all this for me. Why am I manually answering issues and pull requests? Why isn't an AI doing this right now? It's because we're stubborn. Humans are stubborn. And I'm looking forward to when we just let go and we just say, okay, we had our time. We had our time managing the open source and we messed it up. We did a terrible job.
I don't think so. Terrible.
And it just wasn't worth it. Yeah, so I'm going to say hold on this one until we've done a bit more digging into the other caches. If I'll also have to have a look at the Swiss cache itself just to see if there's any like caveats we need to warn people of. Because the thing is, when you change the cache implementation for something like this, obviously there's going to be people who might be doing some heavy stuff on the memory cache. So if we kind of like swap out a new implementation, it might drastically change how their pipelines work. So the alternative might be to just offer this as like a separate component, like you said. But I'll have a little think. This schema registry one, I really can't believe that there's not good docs on the schema registry side. I would expect this from Confluent because they're the ones that thrust this upon us. But every time I've looked into this issue, I cannot find any documentation as to what they actually expect when there are paths and names that contain slashes. So we're actually just completely guessing what the correct behavior is. But I think we're slowly starting to zero in on this. So what you've got here is you've got a regular expression, and anytime we do a request, so this is just a general method where we have a verb, a path, and is it a get request that we're doing here? Oh, it'll be different, won't it, depending on the thing. We don't have a body, and that's basically it. And then what this was doing a URL join path of the request path, so the thing that we specified. So basically, people who are watching this like, what? What are you doing? Basically, we have a base URL for the schema registry server, which may be at a given path. There might be like some prefix for all paths in order to route it to a specific place. I'm not in control of this stuff. I'm not judging anyone. That's just the world we might be in. But obviously, we need to make a few different requests to that endpoint throughout the life of our schema registry processes. So while that's happening, we need to be able to append these arbitrary paths onto the other one, and obviously we want to do that in a URL-aware way. So what we're doing is we're building this URL, and then we're setting the path to a URL.join path, and this is the HTTP URL, net/URL package. And then what we do is, in the olden day, we would just slap that in as a string to our HTTP request maker. And your proposal here is to work around this particular Go issue, where it does some naughty stuff. Now I have a vague memory of this. I think I remember hitting this once before. But basically, when you have a slash in a URL path, it gets escaped. %2f.
Exactly. So you cannot have in one URL both the escaped and the non-escaped version.
Oh.
This is like the actual result of it. So only if you pass it to a string and you find it, then you can rebuild it, I would say.
Let me read this issue. Okay, so this is a URL that contains %2f. So the reason why this is relevant to us right now is because the thing that we might have in our request path might contain this escape, because we might have, so for example, the one that keeps hitting this is protobuf imports. So a protobuf import will often have like a path. It's not just a name and a suffix. It's like foo/bar/meow. So what we've already done, by the time we call do request, what we've already done elsewhere is we've escaped all of those slashes with %2f's, and it looks as though the bug is when you do that in Go, it will convert that back into a slash. I can actually run this, for example. Oh. What? With Go 1.22, I'm actually getting the behavior that I'd expect. Oh, is that possibly something they've fixed? Because you're seeing that issue right now, right?
Well, I fixed it, I saw it.
You might need to have more components in the path or something.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like they've actually done anything since 2014. So clean path is applied to r.url.path. So /%2f is unescaped to //, and clean path turns it to /. Then our redirect is responsed. If clean path applies to ... there is no change to clean path. If clean path applies to request URI's path part, there is no change, so no redirect happen. The handler matches / is called. When the path is / is rejected, the person as before. Oh, I'm more confused now than I was before. Is a single string, then there is no way to represent %2f as different from / since the path is already decoded. We can't just leave the %2f because / %2f is what you get from decoding. Oh. Oh, I see. So, yeah, that's pretty, that's rather nasty. It's also documented on the net.url type. Let's have a little cheeky look at that. Go net URL. Gop net URL. Okay, URL type. Okay, note that the path field is stored in decoded form. / becomes / go /. A consequence is that it's impossible to tell which slashes in the path were slashes in the raw URL and which were %2f. This distinction is rarely important, so shut up! But when it is, the code should use the URL escaped path method, which preserves the original encoding of path. Oh my god.
My reaction was the same.
That is
except
a
the
nightmare.
blobfish reading you did a minute before.
God. So they're recommending we do URL.escaped path. Have you looked at that already?
Yes.
Does that not get us what we want?
Not exactly. And like we could do it, but it's a very big change to the source to actually get it. And I wanted something little smaller here, just to make sure it works.
As in we need to make changes outside of this do request method, you mean?
Right.
Oh, okay.
And everywhere the request path string is built, we should know how it's built, or to pass the URL to pass the URL.url instead of the string. And then it said, okay, and then I have to build the base URL everywhere the same. So my conclusion was to just put it here.
Okay. Alright, I think I need a brain refresh to think through the consequences. I think it looks fun because we got tests. Might need to expand the tests a little bit just to be confident.
I added this use case in the test. You can actually see it. Like assuming the subject is foo/bar, so you can see it there. Or main common, you see here the foo bar.
Cool, okay. Yeah, I feel like I need a brainwash. Let's have a look at... where did I see that thing? I'm just going to add a note to the PR, because I think I need to think through
Feel free.
the other bits. But I'll stick that comment in there just so I can go back to it. Because yeah, that is a nasty one. That is a real heck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. I feel like we need to have at least one win in the pull request. Is there some really old ones I can merge?
No pressure.
Oh, you can merge my what's it called now? My WebSocket fixes.
Where's that?
There's a
Is that new?
WebSocket fix on the Connect.
How old is it?
Old.
Is it old?
Probably around here somewhere. Pull it up. It had some proxy field to the WebSocket, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, vague memory of that.
Yeah, 2286. Oops.
There we go. December in 2023. Can we merge this one? Well, one day. Okay, so the WebSocket input and output now obey the HTTP proxy, HTTPS proxy, and no proxy environment variables. Field proxy URL added to the WebSocket input. If the config contains a proxy URL, we get that. This is an interesting gotcha. When TLS enables is true, the existing implementation creates a new WebSocket. Oh yeah, I remember this. I've seen this in other places as well. So that's proxy. I think a shallow copy should suffice. Dialer.proxy. Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then we have proxy URL, oscillation proxy URL. Default dialer. Do the same again. And then we have these and these. Is the environment variable stuff, is that just like free?
Yeah. I mean, I remember testing it. I think I even left some notes in there if I'm thinking.
Is that because of this default dialer stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get it. So when you enable TLS, you lose this proxy from environment stuff. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Dumb TLS. That's what you get for using TLS.
Yeah. You can actually run the tests I have in the README.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in here that's going to get nuked because we no longer have the MD files.
Yeah,
can I do that directly on here? I think I could probably just edit your thing. Looks like I can commit directly to your branch.
Oh yeah.
Can I bunch these up? Is it going to let me do that? I'll tell you what, I'm going to check out this branch locally. And I'll fix these conflicts separately. Have you
We've done it in the
checked that
background.
PR yet?
Yeah. So weird with the delay in the stream.
Here we go. Anybody else in the audience, by the way, feel free to come and snipe us on these PRs and let yourselves be known. We love emojis. We love people saying, hey, I was here. It's all in good fun. Did I update the changelog? Oh, I bet I didn't update the changelog, did I? Check out CL 4.30. Want to make sure we add Marco's changes. Added new. It was sine, cosine, tan, and was it pi? It was pi, wasn't
it?
Yeah. You work for Redpanda? Well. It's been a wild couple weeks. I invite you to watch my prior streams because we do go into that in some detail. But yes, I am the Connect technical lead at Redpanda. So I'm a Redpanda employee. Oh! What's that? Oh. I do have some other Redpanda swag, but it's not in the room with me. Bloblang methods, and that was at, I always forget Marco's username. Famador. Just going to make sure I don't lose that. Update changelog. Doesn't have to go anywhere, doesn't have to be reviewed. It's just going to sit there until we're ready to cut the release. Just make sure that's done. And then, okay, the other thing was we're going to get your PR in. What was I doing? Git fetch RP. Fatal. It matched 2 different remote tracking branches. How do I deal with that? It's RP / What? Maybe I've got you on origin. Got you on my origin. Git rebase. Tell you what, this is now in a head detached state, so I don't know what's going on there. My Git skills are still very poor. Mihai's WebSocket thing. Rebase on main? Ugh. Oh, yeah, because it's I/O. Oh, of course, yeah. This is a change to I/O. So I need to pull this in on the other Benthos repo. Wah, wah. Git rebase. Abort. Abort. But that's fun because I can basically do the same thing. What if I do RP Or is GitHub not? GitHub is not having it. Okay, so what are my options here?
Let me fix it.
Well, because what I can do is I can add the Redpanda Connect repo as a remote for my local Benthos repo, and then I can pull in your changes that way. Actually, let's do that. Git remote add rp connect. Git at github.com redpanda data / connect. Git fetch rp connect. And then I'll basically do the same thing that I did. Does that work? Why doesn't that work? Oh, because I didn't give the full thing. There we go. Okay, so now what I need to do is I'm almost there. I'm so close to getting my brain engaged with this pull request, but I'm going to answer some questions in the chat first. For the docs, is there a different format in plugins that is needed now, or does it use the same thing in the code itself? As in, there's different ways I can interpret that question. Do you mean in terms of what you as a plugin author need to write syntax-wise in the docs, or do you mean from the perspective of a template that's being executed with the plugin info? Does that need to change? Because basically both are kind of true but kind of not. So we're using on the Redpanda Connect docs site the config spec is the exact same. Don't worry about it. So but basically we've moved now to God, what's it called? A new docs thing. It's no longer ASCII doc. So the way that like titles and stuff look is slightly different. Most plugins, it doesn't matter because all you're doing is writing like a raw paragraph of text. Links look a bit weird, but if you're writing a plugin, don't worry about that, because so ideally what I want to do is have like a generic syntax for specifying like what a title is and what a link is, which could just be Markdown. And then what we do is we take that syntax and we convert it to whatever format that you want is. We're not quite there yet, so if you're a plugin author, just don't worry about it. It's exactly the same as it was before, and I will just fix, or our docs team, because we have a whole team now working on the docs, and they are fantastic and very responsive. So they'll look at it if they've got capacity for that. Upon error, is the stack trace of blob/YAML attached to metadata? Not the full stack trace. So there was actually, I think George had a branch, maybe an experimental one where he was messing around with that sort of stuff, if I remember right. Because he was using the Go error types where you do get a stack trace, and he was injecting it into the message, which then, yeah, technically that would actually give you the full stack trace, but we haven't merged it. It was a cool idea, but there's like performance implications, also maybe security implications. I don't really remember what the conversation was like. As a plugin author, just wondering if I need to use something other than config spec. No, it's exactly as you're doing is fine. Right, back to Mihai's pull request. So what do I want to do here? Do I want to do a rebase, or should I do a squash merge on top of the thing and then just get rid of the markdown bits? What do you think?
Paste the code.
Let's do rebase. We'll try rebase because we can always abort a rebase. Get rebase made. Okay, right. We can do git rm on the What did that happen for? And then we have both modified. The change log. Okay, yeah, I need to do... One thing I am looking forward to with having the change log managed differently is avoiding these constant conflicts when merging people's pull requests. Because that was a nightmare. I'm actually just going to delete your changelog entry in this, and we can... Wait, what? What? Visual Studio? What? I'll need to make note of that somewhere. But yeah, we'll just delete that for now. Pretend it doesn't exist. Oh, hang on, what did I just do? Oh, okay, so there's two entries. One is the fix, because we were ignoring the environment variables, and then the other one is a new field. Cool, okay. It's a twofer. Okay, so what do we need to do to fix the diff of these things now? Okay. So we still have URL parsed, and then what we do is we add proxy URL, rec signer, TLS enabled. All I did was change this function signature from what I can tell. So yeah, we'll take that in, everything else stays, and then we do a format, and it'll be the same with this as well, won't it? Lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely jubbly. Sure. This looks fine. Yeah. Git, rebase, continue. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, now I can... What can I do now? Can I push into your branch? Mihai's on the phone, everyone. Mihai is not available. I'm on my own. I don't think I'm able to do a thing. So what I'm gonna have to do is make a new branch. And I'll get Mihai to review his own thing. Compare import request. Adds a proxy URL field. Does some things with the proxy URL field. And then we do the thing. Get Mihai to review it, and then when he is able, he'll hopefully take a cheeky look at that for me. Moved over to. So if you have a pull request on the Connect repo, if you can move it, if it needs to move to the Benthos repo because it's something in the pure or the IO or any of the internals, If you can, please do move that pull request over to the Benthos repo. But if you don't have time to do that, don't freak out. It's not a problem, because I'll end up doing the same thing that I'm doing here, which is basically I treat Connect as a remote of the Benthos repo, and I can just bring your pull request in like that. So it's a little bit more work, but it's not a huge amount, because at the end of the day, we're probably going to have to do some rebasing and branch crazy stuff. So it's not like a huge problem for me to have to deal with that. But what I will do is I will open my change log and I will just reintroduce these bits. What's Mihai's username? There we go. Update changelog. I probably don't need to write that manually, but I did. Daniel says, Ayo Ash, Ayo, just tuned in. Are you reviewing PRs? I also have one open for HCD input / cache component. Much love. I'm pretty much burnt out for the day for pull requests. I can have a quick look. I'll give you a quick cheeky gander. If it's a significant one, then I probably won't merge it tonight. I need to get onto the emojis, essentially. Hang on a minute. Nope, that's not correct. That's what I wanted. Everyone's wait. I'm sorry, Daniel. Everyone is waiting for me to do the emojis. I'm so sorry. Everyone has been asking today. Where are the emojis, Ash? Stop doing pull. He's writing code. He's doing pull requests. What about the emojis? Yeah, I think that that's me at my limit for pull requests today. If you don't already know, we've updated the Redpanda Connect plugin example. So the Benthos plugin example now redirects here. This gives you the new juicy, yummy, yum 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 yum, yummy bits in. It's essentially like a practical example that you can compile for how to build your own custom flavor of Benthos / Redpanda Connect with your own custom plugin implementations. So we've got some plugin implementations for blobbery, caches, inputs, outputs, processes, rate limits, all that stuff. So you can come in, clone this repo, make whatever name changes, module name changes you want, and then you just use this project to make your builds. We also include a Docker file, and that also included a bunch of fixes that had to go in. So the old plugin example repo was stale, to the point where most of the examples didn't even work anymore. So we fixed all of that now, so you should be good to go again. There's still some pull requests, but this is just updating dependencies, so it doesn't matter. Right, I'm closing that. I think I'm going to do some emojis. Because the brain is not... So emojis it is. Just got to find them. Where are they? Where are my emojis? Where do I keep my emojis? Oh no. Oh no, I think I might have lost my emojis. What have I done? Oh no, I haven't. Don't worry, everyone. He hasn't lost his emojis. Haha, here we go. Boom, emojis. Emoji City. So this is where we were at last time. We have our little cherub. So this is looking really good. Marco has sent me an SVG now for the black hole. Actually, I think there was a new version of this. Hang about. There is a new version that he sent, which I'm going to copy into my union of emojis. Let's get this in the right shape and size. Appropriate for Discords and Slacks. This looks pretty good. I am gonna, look, I think this is a fantastic starting point. It's a great launching pad for, hey Matt. It's a great launching pad for the black hole that we will be putting out there. But it's not quite there yet for me. I think I still need to make a few minor adjustments. So we'll be doing that now, hopefully. I'm also going to make a repo specifically for emojis. I'm going to call this Emojis. Emojis is going to be the description. It's going to be public. You don't need a README. And like I said earlier, the reason why I'm doing a repo for this, what's a good subdirectory for stuff? Marco says, what? It's perfect. It's not going to be far off what you've got. It's just a few little minor tweaks, just to just to suit my fancy. It's just to fit my own personal preferences. Not a reflection on the original artwork. It does stand on its own merits. It's good. I'm just going to call this stuff. CD stuff. Git clone. Clone my emojis repo. You appear to have cloned an empty repo. Wow, thanks. And now I'm going to save this as, we're going to go home, source, stuff, emojis. I'm just going to call this everything.svg because it basically is. We might, hopefully we'll break this down at some point. Because I do think having one super copy of all the emojis is probably not the way to go, but it's just been a bit easier for me to manage over the years. And then let me stick a directory in there. New folder. Blobs, and we'll paste all of the rendered emojis in there, and that's basically what I wanted to do there. So we've got all the rendered emojis here. That does not seem like many. Pretty sure we're missing some here from this original list. But we've got the important ones. We've got blob bounce and blob trance. Got blob bounce there. But yeah, there are way more emojis here, I think, than there are over the thing. So I'm going to have to figure that out and do some more renderings. But here we go. We're going to Matt. If you're saying stuff, by the way, no one can hear you. You're dead to the world.
Yeah, I didn't ask.
Okay, that's fine. He's lurking, people. Matt's just lurking today.
It's my normal state.
Are you working?
I am.
He's doing his job. But he's got the stream on at the same time. What's more important?
Neither.
Neither are of consequence. Okay, so I'm going to do the cherub. Let's export this. What have I been doing? I've been doing page 128 by 128, which I think is fair. I think that's reasonable. And oh my god, I've got to find the path again. Stuff, emojis, blobs. How do you spell cherub? Oh dear, what happened then? How long have I been cutting the stream out? I must have pushed a button. Sorry about that, people.
I don't think it's been that long, but
That wasn't the end of the
I
stream.
don't appreciate being told to touch some grass. I don't like it.
Help!
And you're back.
And we're back. Sorry about that, people. Or not, this is free content at the end of the day. If I want to stop the stream early, that's my choice. What is going on here? That's not the tool I want. So yeah, I think basically I just need to adjust these lines a little bit. And already that looks a lot better. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. So now what we do is we we middle it. So got a width of 167 pixels, which is not what we want because we're exporting 128. So what we want is 128 times 3. That What's going on there? We did an Ark of Covenant emoji with those cherubims. What's going on here? The page width is 128 pixels. The width here is 167. That doesn't make it sense. It looks way more than twice that. What's going on there? Is it not? Is this not accurate? Is this not an accurate pixel measure? Or is it because of the DPI settings? It's got to be the DPI then. If I change that to 96, where actually it's 64. Huh, that's very odd. That is very odd. So 64 times, we want to do 64. I've got my calculator app. I am a software engineer. And that's why I choose to use tools. 64 times 3.
Maar dus dat je aan die 15 kanalen kunt sturen.
Dan, your mic's on. He just comes in, he's like... Yeah, just put all the drug money in my garage, yeah. Oh, I'm on look. Dan.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to disable my... Oh, here it is.
Disable what? Me?
No, my microphone, because there are just a lot of people here where I'm sitting.
Oh, okay. You're not doing
I thought
anything.
we were suddenly tuning into some like Finnish radio station.
You're not doing anything unsavory, are you?
Now, hang on, I'll show you where I am at the moment.
Oh, I don't know if I want that. Okay, so I'm gonna do... How are we naming these emojis, Matt? The blob mad, was it blob mad 1, 2, 3 or blob mad left, right, middle?
That's how the wide tubby one went, but I don't have a strong preference.
Well, what was it?
Just a number appended without
Okay,
a
so
hyphen or anything.
blob. I'm going to call this blob big mad, and then 1, 2, 3. So this is actually going to be 2 because we're starting at 1, and this is the middle. So I'm going to do blob big mad 2. Export.
If you want to be Go idiomatic, you index at 0.
Nope.
Nope.
No, thank you. Not interested in that.
9.
Oh, I'm a software engineer. Oh, everything's got to be exactly how my language works. Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said 4 minutes ago.
Nah. Nah. I'm a pragmatist. I actually don't like programming languages. I just like to get shit done. That's me. Now let's do the same with this tubby boy.
Nice jazz hands. That was cool.
So I didn't want to do 64 times 3 in my head. So I did it with a calculator, but now I can't remember it. I'm going to do it again here.
You sound exactly like me.
It's like you can have like a whole software career where like you start off thinking like, I'm an idiot, everybody's going to find out, you know, like the whole imposter syndrome. And then like within like a month, you're like, whoa, I'm hot shit, I could build NASA. And obviously you're way overconfident. And then you kind of like settle on like, I'm pretty big brained. I guess I'm smarter than almost everyone because I'm a software engineer. I can write code, I'm pretty awesome. And then you have kids. As soon as you have kids, it's like, I'm just an inanimate object. I eat, I sleep, and everything else is too much for my brain to comprehend. And I want people to look after me. I don't want to have to make any decisions ever. Please Tell me what I need to do on a day-to-day basis. Tell you what, we've got a bit of leeway here. We can make this bigger. I really want Blob Tubby to be grande.
I'm sorry, you want it to be what?
Grande.
Oh.
Bit of Spanish there. Bit of Spanish for my viewers. Blob Big Tubby 1. Oh, that's 2. Blob Big Tubby 2. And then we're going to do Blob Big Tubby 3. And then Blob Big Tubby. So just because we're doing emojis doesn't mean you can't ask me technical questions in the chat, people. So feel free to you know, throw some questions my way. Doesn't even need to be related to me or the project or code or tech or anything. So it's open forum. Do whatever you want. Let's just check on these renderings. Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good. Oh, I can't wait to use these in a Discord. Okay, there's definitely some of these emojis missing. Is there not?
Oh yeah, Marco brings up a good point. You're not sharing your screen.
Yeah, you're not like, we can see you, which is also quite funny, but we can't see your screen.
Look, I'm not some genius who can do emojis and run a live stream at the same time. What do you expect from me? I think it must be jumping around. I must have some weird key binding somewhere that's jumping things around. Look, I don't care at the end of the day. It's just a feed of my face going, wow, these look amazing. These look so good. So what we've rendered so far is we've got some blob tubby bits, we've got some blob big mads, and I'm looking at the list of emojis here and trying to figure out which ones are we missing. We don't have the emo one. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's go through these one at a time. It's got blob bounce, we've got blob trance. These are yes, these are done. I'll tell you what. Instead, let's move these ones from here to this side when I know that I've rendered them. So we've got blob hug. That's not there. Yeah, blob hug isn't there. So let's do that.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yo, 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 you will be.
You were making fun of me while I was talking on the phone, weren't you?
Well, to be honest, Ash already made fun of himself because he wasn't sharing his screen and was talking about like, oh yeah, look at this cool emoji. Look at it, look at what I'm doing over here. And everybody was like, yeah, nice face, like really cool.
I don't care. That stuff doesn't bother me. Somebody came up to me on the street, like imagine I'm like in public and somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, you're that guy. And I'm like, oh, cool, I've been recognized. Like, your streams suck. They're terrible. I'll be like, well. Oh well. Good job I don't identify as a streamer. What have I called this emoji? The one, the nervous one. Is that just blob nervous?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's blob nervous, yeah.
Yeah, blob nervous. Okay, we've got that now. I love this one with the hands up. We don't seem to have that either. This is like blob.
Frog.
Blob
Shrug.
shrug. That was it, yeah. Blob shrug. Blob shrug is a banger. We've got blob swag. Blob sweat smile. We've got blob sweat. Blob puke and blob heart puke. Got both of these. Blob mad. Blob mad. Yeah. Have we got blob naughty? We don't. We don't have blob naughty. Ah! Up in there. Blob naughty.
I love blob naughty.
Yeah, I think blob naughty gets us a lot of leverage. We really do make a good bit of use. Blob cry laughing. Doesn't look like we have that. Is that cry laugh or cry laughing?
I love.
How's that spelled? Cry laugh. Blob cry laugh. And then blob face palm, we've got that. Blob cool, we've got that. Blob crying, we've got that. Blob kiss. We've got blob kiss. We've definitely got the standard blobfish, don't we? Yeah, blob. Blob thumbs up. We've got thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay hands. We've got blob heart. Blob thinking is another absolute banger. Oh. Blob bot is missing. Blob bot. Blob wave also appears to be missing. Blob emo, I already know that's missing. Blob pirate, I think we've got, don't we? Blob pirate. Blob bug. Blob bug, we've got that. And I've just done cherub. Blob bug's pretty good. Blob cherub, I just don't like using it because I don't like having bugs. Blob tubby. Got blob tubby. And then blob big mad and blob big tubby. Now let's fix Marco's disaster of a black hole. So this is completely wrong. Because a black hole, by virtue of its physics, does not emit any light from
Don't start this crap again.
event horizon. I'm just recapping. This is just a recap.
Recapping.
Yeah, a recap of the previous physics.
Okay, Hawking
debate.
radiation, recap done.
So then somebody made the suggestion of maybe it's Hawking radiation. And I hate that, but
Because it's correct.
I have to say that is a feasible explanation, because what we could say is what you're seeing in the face here is actually an aggregate of trillions and trillions of years of Hawking radiation buildup. And we're just saying that it's obviously this very specific pattern, which then obviously accounts for the face. So I have made the decision, because it is my decision, I can do whatever I want. I'm an adult now. This is my open source project, Mummy. Sorry, Marco. And I'm going to make some minor adjustments. We just need to make it a bit more emoji-y. So I'm going to delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Deleting Marco's hard work. And we're still going to do cutesy eyes. Just going to delete all that. Still doing cutesy eyes, but just with a slightly different spin.
That was so creepy with the white eyes. It's almost intimidating.
I will consume you.
Dad?
What was that StarCraft thing? Power overwhelming.
Can you give me a clip of that?
Yeah, the Proto-Sarkion.
What just happened? Why didn't that change? Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm going to make this thicker. I'm going to have a thicker nose. Got to make sure it's still kind of rounded. Okay, Marco, I'm not going to make too many changes. I'm just making the lines thicker because I think you have done a stellar job. With this black hole. Marco says, I and Christopher Nolan are consulting our lawyers now. Sue me. I will debate Hawking radiation versus light emitted from a black hole in court. I did it again. There's something going on here, because that's not me doing it. That's not me changing the streams. So unless somebody's hacked me, or I'm just slapping weird stuff in the... No, I don't know.
It's the black hole magnetic waves.
It's the pull of these emojis. They're calling to me. Ash, finish your stream. Play with us. I'm going to 3D print my emoji army. I'll play with them like figurines. My suite of emojis. Okay, so I'm going to call this, Marco, I'm going to call this blob hole. You can always change the name at a later date. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So we've got the full suite of emojis here. I'm going to check that into the repo. Git status. Whoa, look at all this stuff that we've added. Not DS store. But everything else, yes. So we've got all these PNGs in here. Git commit. First commit. Push that. And now this is going to be on my new Git repo emojis. So this may just be like a temporary place to dump all of these emojis in. If we do end up putting it in the repo again, then I'll obviously update this repo with the new location, so you're not all going to be lost trying to find these things. But I think this is probably a good compromise, because basically I can change this as much as I want with no restrictions. I don't have to loop somebody in to help me with pull requests, because that's the only thing I want. I don't mind a bit of tomfoolery and silliness working on emojis, but I don't want to force somebody else to approve my pull request when all I'm doing is like adding another arm to blobtubby, or make blobtubby tubbier. I don't want to force a real person to have to look and acknowledge. That's what I do. But yeah, this is fine, because anybody can come in here and grab all the emojis that they need. And you can clone the repo. And you've also got the SVG. Oh, look at that. I might break this out into individual SVGs, but it's just it's a lot, isn't it? It's just a lot for me to have to do. And I don't really like doing stuff when I don't have to, so guess I'm not going to do that. Anything anybody wants to ask or comment, or just say hi?
Start the repo.
Oh yeah, cool. Everybody start the repo. Everybody follow Mihai's lead. Are you the first one?
Yes, sir.
Good job. Good job, stargazers. Also like this video and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise I'll find out where you and your loved ones live, and there will be consequences. Don't dislike the video. What else is there? If you're a fan of the project, sorry. And keep it easy. Keep it easy, and take care of yourself easily. Thanks for watching the stream. There will be more streams probably. It depends how many people pre-liked, but I'm hopeful. And that's it. That's it from me.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Why are you still here?
No,
I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done. We're still live. Don't say anything stupid. Why are you still here?
Anything stupid.
Don't. Shush. Let me finish the stream. Shut up.
I didn't watch the Splunk PR.
Shut up. Let me finish the stream. Shut up. That's it. So we're done now. Okay? That's it. What do you want? I'm not going to do any more pull requests. I'm not going to do any more emojis. I've pushed all my changes to a repo. What is there now? It's over. It's done.